I got like every color.
Yeah. Is that what you're gonna wear on the plane? I
I'm not
love
sure
those
already.
glasses. Let me see. Did you bring your stuff with you? Or you gotta go back home?
I gotta get it.
Hmm.
All right,
Mine's in the
KJ,
car.
whenever you guys
Yeah,
are
these
ready.
are vintage.
Okay.
Really? Snap with
Mm.
those. Love them.
Yeah, take it.
Well, congratulations on raising a superstar son.
Thank
You
you.
guys, I can see you're a mama's boy right away.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure that people approach you to do so many different projects because you've met so many different people along the way. What
Hmm.
made you want to write a book?
I wanted to write this book because it was an opportunity to tell a story that I don't think people had heard. The side of Kanye that they don't see, and something really unique. I think how he grew up, how he was raised, what I allowed, what he listened to me regarding, which is mostly everything, but so many different reasons. First, I was encouraged to by family and friends, and then I thought it was a really good story to tell. So that's why I wrote it.
From what we know, we've interviewed you a couple times and obviously know a lot about your bio and whatnot. You're very strong willed and very opinionated. And so most people would think, well, I would think as he's growing up, he probably was a rebellious teenager, probably difficult. And you're so not like that. You know, talking to your mom, you get a sense that you had so much respect for her and very obedience to her. How do you wedge that line where you allow somebody to have a lot of creativity and be their own person, but there's still rules and regulations within the household?
Well, at first, I think you look in the mirror and see if you are intact yourself. Because, as I say in the book, you can't be a good parent if you're not a good person. And you're not a good person if you don't get your ego, at least try to, get that in order and realize that there's always something that you can learn, even from your child. So I think because Kanye knew that I listened to him, then he really didn't have a big problem listening to me.
Mm. What did you think when you heard your mother was going to write this book?
Uh, well, I thought it'd be way better than all the other stuff written about me.
Well, when it comes to your mother, it's always been positive stuff with her. I've never
Yeah.
seen any negative press regarding your relationship with your mother. I don't
Yeah.
think. So you were pretty happy that she was going to write the book.
Yeah. Finally.
Get it
Finally.
straight. You know she's
Yeah.
going to get it straight.
Yeah. Finally,
Yeah.
somebody who really knows me writing something about me. That's someone coming in with some preconceived notions, or trying to steer the interview to the information that they want to get, so they can get the hot story and everything. And it's like she's not writing a book, uh, just trying to, you know, capitalize or say things bad about me so that she can bring herself to another level. And I think a lot of press did that. And with the book, it's really interesting. It's inspirational, and to just to parents. It's not just a, oh, he's a superstar and we go do this and we fly around the world, but it's like, how do you truly raise a superstar? I think people should take this book seriously like that, because she's really dropping a lot of jewels throughout the book.
One of the things that I think it
Mm.
says in the book is you talk a lot about the challenges that it was that you encountered being a single mother. Did you talk a lot of that over with Kanye in terms of like what you would reveal and maybe what you wouldn't reveal in the book?
What's the classification of single mother exactly?
Well, I mean, just raising without, you know, having the father there 24/7. I guess is what they
Yeah,
consider a
just
single
keep
mom.
yeah keep in mind 24/7.
Exactly.
It's definitely single, but
Hmm.
you know. Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
But I
Yeah.
mean, no, not
Yeah,
that your father wasn't there, present
yeah. I actually
in
could
your
like
life at
call my
all.
father, and like I saw him on spring break and summertime and stuff like that. It wasn't the the usual story that you hear and stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
people know that you are very close with your mom. I mean, we always see her places with you. When we've interviewed you, we've seen her at a lot of different award
Hmm.
situations, and you talk about her a lot. I know you have so much admiration and respect for your mother, and that's the reason why I
Okay,
mentioned
yeah.
that.
It's all
Definitely.
good. I just had to clarify every time. Just being a man, and going into fatherhood and everything. I just have to just that, because America, the media, they always do that. They always say, oh, okay, well, it was single and raised in the slums of this and blah blah. And this book is about clarity. It's about clarifying. It's she definitely had a hard job. I believe, because you know my father wasn't there at all times, but there were, what she stresses in the book, there were positive male influences around me, and I did have opportunities to see my father and stuff like that, and I think that's very important for single mothers to know, like when you're raising a man, to have positive men around them so they can see what it's like to be a real man.
Do you have any advice? I mean, there's so many. I know I was reading. I think it was Essence or Ebony. Their whole spotlight is on fatherhood this particular month, which is wonderful. And they highlight a lot of African American fathers, not just celebrities, but just normal everyday dads and their kids. And they talk about the state of fatherhood and how many are in households and how many aren't. Do you have any thoughts on that at all?
Well, I definitely feel like it's a shortage of fathers, period, and fathers are the backbone of the community, and I think that when there are good fathers, it's our responsibility to anchor the community, to make sure that we can spread that influence to as many kids as possible. It's like when we see, I know with my father, he used to see kids in a community that were going the wrong way, and he would stop and actually talk to them. Like he would feel entitled to give them some type of direction, and I feel like that's a responsibility.
What's the best lesson that you've learned from your mother in life?
Well,
I know she's taught you a lot of things.
My favorite thing is what she said. I was working on music, and I was still living at home and saying, this is what I'm doing in my life. And she said, Kanye, until you get paid for it, it's still a hobby. And that was just worded so eloquently in comparison to some of my friends' parents that said, you ain't never gonna make it.
Right. So, I wanted to piggyback on what Kanye said, because I clarify all the way through the book that I was not married to Kanye's dad after he was 3 years old. But I don't feel that a woman can show a boy how to become a man, because we are not men. And I believe that there's some great men who were raised and didn't even have the benefit of, a father around, or even what Kanye had, a loving father who was there, who he went to visit every summer. I say in the book that my dad is one of those men. But it's important for young women, parents to know, single parents to know, that that's so critical. If you have a boy or a girl, if hopefully it can be the father of your child, maybe an uncle, maybe a granddad, but they're so important. And I think that we take on that role of, I'm the mother and the father. You sometimes are, put in a position where you have to do a lot of things that maybe you wouldn't do if both people weren't in the home. But I was very fortunate, and not only did we have Kanye's dad in the role of father, but just not in the home, we had 2 loving grandfathers, uncles, cousins, and that's really critically important. So I want to clarify, because I know the media does that. One time we went to a city and we took a picture for a particular newspaper, and when I saw the picture published, Kanye and I were like this, and they had his dad. Of course, we've been divorced forever, but that doesn't matter because we've always supported each other. And they had his dad like standing like he wasn't part of the 3 of us. And I don't know if that was on purpose. They took a zillion shots. Why did they choose that one? That's not always the case in the black community. There's so many different ways that families are structured. And so I'm just echoing what Kanye said. Not to say that it wasn't a challenge raising Kanye, but it was more of a joy than anything. I think I end one of my chapters by saying that Kanye made raising him easy.
That's really eloquent. I think just sidelining what you were saying there, I think a lot of that kind of misconception about what you're saying, black fathers not being available, or the media portraying it that way, a lot of that comes from sports and athletes too, because I think so many athletes that are really famous that are they say they're raised by single mothers. They come out and say, it's my mother who raised me. They're always giving thanks to that. And I think so often the black father is just not there, on the sideline of the game. So maybe they kind of transfer that to being all superstars, all entertainers, which is not a fair assessment at all. So I see your point of view.
We just want clarity, because this situation is unique. The way she raised me was very unique. I have a very unique mother and a unique father, and I never wanted to be pigeonholed, and I always wanted people to just accept me for being me, and I think my mother feels the same way. Like, one of my favorite sayings is, I would rather be hated for who I am than loved for who I'm not. So I think at the end of the day, when we see the press, I see, 80% of the stuff written is wrong. And I'm like, I'm sure it's like some stuff that people would not like about me, but I wish they would just know what it was for real. Like the truth. And if you read this book, this is written from a person that's going to tell you all sides of the stories. And, I don't feel like she held any punches in the book. As you can see, like, she had a thing about how when I was 10 years old, I brought, porn to school, and the media loved that. That was like, yes, it's one thing that we can somehow make negative out of,
right.
Out of this, this black girl from Oklahoma raising one of the biggest superstars in the world. You get this that feat right there, and what they take is this little thing, and that's what it's about. It's like, oh.
But you know what? On the same side, though, Kanye, I have to disagree with you in just one tat, is that they do that to everybody. It's not like it's Kanye-centered at all. You know what I mean? There's a lot of artists out there who complain about the same thing.
What are you disagreeing with me about? I didn't say it was just me.
No. I was just assuming that you said that. I was just saying that
I didn't say it was just me. I speak on behalf of anyone in my position also. So, like, if we came to the gate and said, I think artists should get paid to be on the cover of magazines, I'm speaking for anybody in that position. Right. When Gnarls Barkley didn't win the Grammy for, Song of the Year, I wanted to run on stage then and say,
because you thought they deserved it.
Because I thought they deserved it.
Right.
I'm just a champion for what I believe. And if I have that voice and I'm given that opportunity, I feel like I'm the fan, like I'm the last real person. I'm like the glitch in the Matrix. And they just let me get too close to that stage. It's a little bit of, just a little bit of realness beats that 5-second delay. And so, in that, it's like, it seems like it's almost like a plan to like try to, let's turn him into a bad guy or something because
you are so real, though. Yeah. I don't know you.
And that's
you
because
the way just being very real and very honest.
Yeah. And that's because of the way my mother raised me.
Right,
she gave me the opportunity to be real.
Which a lot of people in Hollywood are not. You know what I'm saying? And so you're a rarity in that sense. Do you ever get a backlash? Do you ever get people emailing or writing because you're so vocal about being honest and passionate about what you believe in?
Yeah. I know people who know exactly how to play the game and play the press. I'm not here to play a game. I'm here to live a real life. I'm here to express, what the truth is. So it's like you get backlash if you don't play it up. And, people would say, well, is he doing this for publicity or blah, blah? I don't do anything for publicity. I don't make up anything. I just walk outside and then people make up things around me and stuff like that. So I just want to clarify that.
Yeah, some people even said, did he have that accident just for publicity?
Oh, that's kind of crazy.
Really? People...
That's crazy.
It is crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
It was great publicity though, but I really didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah.
In hindsight, if I had a choice, I probably would have still did it because it did help me blow up. But honestly,
you would really be a daredevil then. That's for sure.
Well, I ask you, what's the best lesson that Kanye has taught you? I asked him the same question. So, what's the best lesson that you've learned from your son?
I've learned that living in total integrity pays off, and it's not as hard as you think it is. And all you have to do is just tell the truth. And the very lessons that I thought I was teaching him, he really mirrored that, showed me, we teach best what we most need to learn. So you can have some ideals, some goals, some theory, and you put it out there because you're a parent and this is your job, and you say, always tell the truth. And then you end up saying, oh, I had 2 televisions to the insurance people when you really had only one, and you justify that lie because you say, oh, they're going to depreciate it, and I know that since I'm only going to get not even as much as I really deserve, let me just put another television in there. It's wrong. And I learned from Kanye that it's better just to tell the truth. You don't really have to make up lies. You feel so much better about yourself, and I think that's one of the greatest lessons that I've learned from him. Just keep it real. I learned that lesson from hip-hop. That's why I became a person who went from hating hip-hop and wishing it would go away and thinking it just might be a fad when Kanye was very, very young, to really understanding it as a culture and appreciating the questions that people raise within the culture of hip-hop.
What? Tell us something funny about Kanye that we don't know. Something that
should be the last. Not to interrupt.
Okay,
but, like,
no problem.
We gotta get going.
Is there something cute or funny that we don't know about Kanye? Just being his mom, you're around him all the time.
Well, Kanye, I think, could have been a stand-up comedian. He's very funny. He's as good with, making jokes and on his feet. He's just a funny person. I can't think right now of any particular story, but be around him for 10 minutes, you're going to be cracking up. And some people might think he's a hothead or a great musician or a wonderful lyricist, but he's also funny as heck and a lot of fun to be around. So if you haven't really been around, spent a lot of time around him personally, you may not know that.
Yeah, they always mess up my punchlines. That's what happens. It's like they won't give the setup or they won't give the punchlines. And so jokes are usually inappropriate, the funny jokes, but they're true. So in interviews, I'll say these things and I think they're funny, and they'll cut them. And it just makes me sound like I'm crazy because the average artist is not going to joke that much. They're not going to give it someone interviewing them that much leeway, that much to play with. So it's just a matter of being over-expressive,
Well, I thought you were funny on Saturday Night Live with Michael Myers.
Oh, yeah.
That was really unexpected. That was just kind of funny the way you guys did that. I knew you had a great sense of humor then.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
It was a pleasure talking to you guys. You guys are so cute
so
together.
much.
Thank
Thanks
you so
a lot.
much. Wonderful. Always
Appreciate
great talking to you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
First in line, huh?
You better know it.
How early did you get here?
I came here straight from work. I got off at 2:30. I was here. We was here at what time? Like 3 o'clock. It's my boyfriend. Beside him, that's my husband. Kanye, my boyfriend.
I'm on my own.
He's here. I saw him.
Oh, couple pictures. Okay, bye.
Kanye, can we get some shots first? Kanye, can we get some close-up shots first? You and some others? You got it to the half title?
Yeah. I'm sorry, to the left.
You want to come on this side over here? You want to do your video over here?
No, I'm good.
Oh, you good? Okay.
Thank you.
She just wanted me to make sure that you got yours. That's why.
Oh, I've got good stuff, thanks.
Alright, folks, just photograph the first couple of people going through the line and then we'll all be excused. Steph?
About 30 real
I have your book at the table.
Okay, Steph,
On a flight ticket.
where's the book out?
That's for her
Oh,
book.
that's the book, okay.
Go ahead. Flight ticket. And you can step up to Lita. I'll stop you here.
Hello, thanks for being here.
Stephanie